I want to share something with you before we get into today's recipes. I was doing some research this week, looking at what seniors are really struggling with when it comes to eating well on a budget. And one thing kept coming up again and again. It's not just about finding cheap recipes. It's about stretching every single ingredient as far as it can possibly go. Today we have 10 dinners, every single one genuinely under $2 per serving at current grocery prices. Every single one filling enough for a proper meal. And throughout this video, I'll show you how to stretch each one even further so one shop gets you through the whole week. Let's get into it. Number 1. Chicken and rice soup. A single chicken thigh costs around $1.20 at most grocery stores right now, and when you simmer it in broth with rice and vegetables, it produces a pot of soup that is deeply warming, completely filling, and genuinely one of the most satisfying meals you can make for under $2 a serving. This is budget cooking at its most honest and its most comforting. Here's what you need. 1 chicken thigh. Bone-in is cheaper and produces more flavor. Half a cup of long-grain white rice. 1 carrot, diced. 1 stalk of celery, diced. Half an onion, diced. 1 clove of garlic, minced. 3 cups of chicken broth or water with a bouillon cube. A pinch of dried thyme, salt and pepper. A small drizzle of oil. Heat your oil in a medium pot over medium heat. Add your onion, carrot, and celery, and cook for about 3 minutes. Add your garlic and stir for 1 minute. Add your chicken thigh, broth, thyme, salt, and pepper. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat, cover, and simmer for 20 minutes. Remove the chicken thigh and shred the meat with 2 forks. Pull every piece of meat from the bone, including the small pieces close to the joint. Return the shredded meat to the pot. Add your rice and cook for another 15 minutes until the rice is tender and the soup has thickened. Taste and adjust seasoning. Serve in a deep bowl. Your tips. 1 bone-in chicken thigh genuinely produces enough shredded meat for 2 full servings of this soup, meaning the cost per serving drops to around 80 cents when you account for the second portion. Don't discard the bone after shredding. Place it back in the pot while the rice cooks, then remove before serving. It continues to release collagen and flavor into the broth right until the end. This soup keeps perfectly in the fridge for 3 days and freezes well in individual portions. Stretch it further. After making this soup, place the stripped bone in a small pot with 2 cups of water, a pinch of salt, and any vegetable scraps you have. Simmer for 30 minutes. That liquid is a free cup of homemade broth, ready for your next recipe, from a bone that would otherwise go straight in the bin. Budget breakdown: 1 chicken thigh at $1.20, half a cup of rice at 15 cents, 1 carrot and celery at 20 cents, bouillon cube at 10 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.65. Number 2. Bean and potato stew. Canned beans and potatoes are 2 of the most filling and most affordable ingredients available in any grocery store, and combined in a simple spiced stew, they produce something that is genuinely hearty, warming, and satisfying enough that you will not be hungry an hour later. This is the dinner that proves budget food does not have to feel like a compromise. Here's what you need. 1 can of pinto or kidney beans, drained and rinsed, around 89 cents at most stores. 2 medium potatoes, peeled and cubed. Half an onion, diced. 2 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 can of diced tomatoes, around 79 cents. 1 cup of vegetable broth or water. 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Half a teaspoon of cumin. Salt, pepper, and a drizzle of oil. Heat your oil in a pot over medium heat. Add your onion and cook for 3 minutes. Add your garlic, smoked paprika, and cumin, and stir for 30 seconds to bloom the spices. Add your diced tomatoes and stir through. Add your cubed potatoes and drained beans. Pour in your broth. Season with salt and pepper. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat, cover, and simmer for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are completely tender and the stew has thickened slightly. Before serving, use the back of a spoon to mash a few of the beans against the side of the pot. This thickens the stew naturally and gives it a creamy, substantial body. Taste and adjust seasoning. Your tips. The smoked paprika is the ingredient doing the most flavor work in this stew. It adds a depth and complexity that makes the finished dish taste considerably more elaborate than its ingredients suggest. Don't substitute regular paprika. The smoky version is what gives this its character. Serve with a thick slice of bread on the side. It turns an already filling stew into something that will keep a senior comfortably satisfied for hours. Stretch it further. Make a double batch of this stew. On night 1, eat it as a stew with bread. On night 2, mash the leftovers roughly with a fork, spread on toast, and top with a fried egg. 2 completely different meals from one cook. Budget breakdown. 1 can of beans at 89 cents, 2 potatoes at 40 cents, 1 can of diced tomatoes at 79 cents, half an onion at 15 cents, spices at 10 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.40. Number 3. Egg and vegetable fried rice. Eggs are currently one of the most affordable complete proteins available, and 2 eggs combined with a cup of leftover rice and whatever vegetables you have on hand produce a dinner that is genuinely filling, genuinely nutritious, and costs under $1.50 per serving. This is the recipe for the end of the week, when the fridge is nearly empty and the budget is nearly gone, and it still produces something worth sitting down to. Here's what you need. 2 eggs, 1 cup of cold cooked rice. Leftover rice from a previous meal is ideal. Half a cup of frozen mixed vegetables, around 40 cents worth. 2 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. A teaspoon of sesame oil if you have it. 1 spring onion stalk, sliced. A little oil for the pan. Heat a pan over the highest heat you have until very hot. Add a drizzle of oil. Add your cold rice and press into an even layer. Leave undisturbed for 1 minute to allow it to crisp slightly on the bottom. Stir and cook for another minute. Push the rice to one side. Add your garlic and cook for 30 seconds. Add your frozen vegetables and stir fry for 2 minutes until heated through. Push everything to one side. Crack your 2 eggs into the empty side of the pan and scramble quickly. As they begin to set, fold them through the rice and vegetables. Add your soy sauce and toss everything together. Add sesame oil off the heat. Top with spring onion. Your tips. Cold leftover rice is essential. Freshly cooked rice has too much moisture and will steam and clump rather than fry. If you don't have leftover rice, spread freshly cooked rice on a plate and put it in the freezer for 15 minutes before using. It firms up enough to fry properly. The frozen vegetables go in straight from frozen, no thawing required, which saves both time and effort. Stretch it further. Cook a full cup of rice rather than half. Use half for this fried rice tonight, and refrigerate the other half. Tomorrow morning, that cold rice becomes the base for a quick rice porridge with a little milk, honey, and cinnamon, a completely different meal from the same cook. Budget breakdown: 2 eggs at 50 cents, 1 cup of rice at 20 cents, half a cup of frozen vegetables at 40 cents, soy sauce at 10 cents, garlic and spring onion at 15 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.35. Number 4. Lentil and Vegetable Soup. Red lentils are one of the single most affordable high-protein ingredients available anywhere. A 1-pound bag costs around $1.20 and contains enough lentils for 4 to 5 generous servings of soup. They break down completely during cooking, creating a naturally thick, smooth, deeply satisfying soup without any blending required. This is one of the most filling dinners on this entire list for the lowest possible cost. Here's what you need. Half a cup of red lentils, rinsed. 1 carrot, diced. 1 stalk of celery, diced. Half an onion, diced. 1 clove of garlic, minced. 2½ cups of vegetable broth or water with a bouillon cube. Half a teaspoon of cumin. Half a teaspoon of turmeric. A drizzle of olive oil. Salt, pepper, and a squeeze of lemon to finish. Heat your oil in a pot over medium heat. Add your onion, carrot, and celery and cook for about 3 minutes. Add your garlic, cumin, and turmeric and stir for 30 seconds. Add your rinsed lentils and broth. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat and simmer uncovered for about 20 minutes, stirring occasionally, until the lentils have completely broken down and the soup has thickened. Finish with a squeeze of lemon juice. Taste and adjust seasoning. Serve in a deep bowl with a slice of bread alongside. Your tips. The lemon juice, added at the very end, is not optional. It lifts the entire soup and brightens the earthy lentil flavor in a way that makes the finished dish taste considerably more vibrant and alive. Without it, the soup can taste flat, despite being well seasoned. A generous crack of black pepper on top just before serving adds another layer of warmth that works beautifully with the turmeric. Stretch it further. This soup thickens significantly overnight in the fridge. The next day, it becomes thick enough to spread on toast like a hummus, top with a sliced hard-boiled egg and a crack of pepper for a completely different high-protein lunch from the same pot of soup. Budget breakdown. Half a cup of red lentils at 30 cents, 1 carrot and celery at 20 cents, half an onion at 15 cents, bouillon cube at 10 cents, spices and lemon at 15 cents. Total per serving, approximately 90 cents. Number 5. Tuna pasta. Canned tuna and pasta is one of the great classic budget combinations. It has been feeding people on tight incomes for generations, and for very good reason. It is filling, affordable, quick, and when made properly, with garlic, olive oil, and a can of crushed tomatoes, it produces a pasta dish that is genuinely satisfying, rather than something you eat reluctantly, because it is all you can afford. This version is built to feel like a proper dinner, rather than an emergency backup meal. Here's what you need. 1 can of tuna in water, drained, around $1.20 at most stores, a portion of spaghetti or any pasta, half a can of crushed tomatoes, save the other half for another meal, 2 cloves of garlic, minced, a drizzle of olive oil, a pinch of red pepper flakes if you enjoy them, salt and pepper, a small handful of parsley if you have it. Cook your pasta in well-salted boiling water. Before draining, scoop out a 1/4 cup of pasta water and set aside. While the pasta cooks, heat olive oil in a pan over medium heat. Add your garlic and red pepper flakes and cook for 1 minute. Add your half can of crushed tomatoes. Season with salt and pepper. Simmer for about 8 minutes until the sauce thickens slightly. Add your drained tuna to the sauce and stir gently. Keep it in larger flakes rather than breaking it down completely. Add your drained pasta and toss everything together, adding a splash of pasta water if needed to loosen the sauce. Scatter parsley over the top if using. Your tips. Using only half a can of tomatoes rather than a full can produces a more concentrated, flavorful sauce that clings to the pasta properly. A full can for 1 portion of pasta produces a soup rather than a sauce. The other half keeps in the fridge for 2 days and can go into tomorrow's eggs, another pasta, or a quick soup base. Stretch it further. Buy 2 cans of tuna when they're on sale. Use 1 for this pasta tonight. Mix the second with a spoonful of mayonnaise, a squeeze of lemon, and some diced onion. That becomes tomorrow's tuna salad for lunch on crackers or bread. 2 meals, $2.40 total protein cost. Budget breakdown. 1 can of tuna at $1.20, pasta portion at 25 cents, half can of tomatoes at 40 cents, garlic and oil at 15 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.80. Number 6. Pinto bean tacos. A can of pinto beans costs 89 cents. 2 flour tortillas cost around 30 cents. A spoonful of salsa costs almost nothing. And together they produce a dinner that is genuinely filling, genuinely flavorful, and ready in under 10 minutes. Bean tacos are one of the most underestimated budget meals available, and when the beans are properly seasoned with cumin, smoked paprika, and garlic, they are good enough to make on purpose rather than just when money is tight. Here's what you need. 1 can of pinto beans, drained and rinsed, 2 flour tortillas, 2 cloves of garlic, minced, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a pinch of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of salsa, a small handful of grated cheese if you have it, a squeeze of lime, salt and pepper, a drizzle of oil. Heat your oil in a small pan over medium heat. Add your garlic and cook for 1 minute. Add your drained pinto beans, cumin, smoked paprika, and chili powder. Stir everything together and cook for about 3 minutes until the beans are heated through and well coated in the spices. Use the back of a spoon to roughly mash about half the beans in the pan. This creates a combination of creamy mashed bean and whole beans that holds together perfectly inside a taco. Warm your tortillas in a dry pan for 30 seconds each side. Divide the bean mixture between the 2 tortillas. Top with salsa, cheese if using, and a squeeze of lime. Your tips. Mashing half the beans is the technique that makes bean tacos genuinely filling rather than just adequate. It creates a creamy, cohesive filling that stays in the taco rather than falling out with every bite. The lime at the end is essential. It brightens all the earthy spiced bean flavor and makes the whole taco taste considerably fresher and more vibrant. Stretch it further. Make a double batch of the seasoned beans. Use half for these tacos tonight. Refrigerate the other half and use them tomorrow morning as a breakfast. Warm them in a pan, make a well in the center, crack in 2 eggs, cover with a lid and cook until the eggs are set. That is a completely different high-protein breakfast from the same batch of beans. Budget breakdown. 1 can of pinto beans at 89 cents, 2 tortillas at 30 cents, salsa at 15 cents, garlic and spices at 10 cents, lime at 10 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.55. Number 7. Potato and cabbage soup. Cabbage is one of the most affordable and most undervalued vegetables in any grocery store. A full head costs around $1.20 and provides enough for multiple meals. Combined with potatoes and a simple seasoned broth, it produces a soup that is far more filling and far more flavorful than its humble ingredients suggest. This is old-fashioned budget cooking at its most honest, and it is genuinely good. Here's what you need. 2 medium potatoes, peeled and cubed. About 1/4 of a head of cabbage, roughly sliced. Half an onion, diced. 2 cloves of garlic, minced. 2½ cups of vegetable or chicken broth. A tablespoon of butter. A pinch of dried thyme. Salt and pepper. Melt your butter in a pot over medium heat. Add your onion and cook for 3 minutes. Add your garlic and thyme and stir for 1 minute. Add your cubed potatoes and sliced cabbage. Pour in your broth. Season with salt and pepper. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat, cover, and simmer for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are completely tender and the cabbage has softened and sweetened. Use a potato masher to roughly mash a few of the potatoes directly in the pot. This thickens the soup naturally and gives it a more substantial, hearty body while leaving plenty of texture from the remaining potato chunks and cabbage. Taste and adjust seasoning. Serve with a thick slice of bread. Your tips. Cabbage sweetens significantly as it cooks. The raw sharpness completely disappears after 20 minutes of simmering, and what remains is a gentle, slightly sweet flavor that works beautifully with the potato and butter. Don't skip the butter. It is a small amount, but it adds a richness to the broth that makes a genuine difference to the finished soup. Stretch it further. 1/4 head of cabbage leaves, 3/4 of a head remaining. Use another 1/4. The next day, sautéed with a little butter and garlic as a simple side vegetable, alongside anything else you're making. Use the remaining half later in the week, roughly chopped and added to any soup or stew as a filling, flavorful, almost free addition. Budget breakdown. 2 potatoes at 40 cents, 1/4 head of cabbage at 30 cents, half an onion at 15 cents, bouillon cube at 10 cents, butter at 10 cents, total per serving, approximately $1.05. Number 8. Sardine and rice bowl. Sardines are one of the most nutritious and most affordable proteins available in any grocery store. A can costs around $1.50 and contains a genuinely substantial amount of protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and calcium. Combined with rice and a simple garlic soy sauce dressing, they produce a bowl that is filling, nutritious, and considerably more delicious than anyone who hasn't tried this combination would expect. If you have dismissed sardines before, this recipe is worth giving them one more chance. Here's what you need. 1 can of sardines in olive oil, half a cup of cooked rice, leftover rice works perfectly, 1 clove of garlic, minced, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, a squeeze of lemon juice, a drizzle of the oil from the sardine can, 1 spring onion, sliced, a pinch of red pepper flakes if you like, salt and pepper. Warm your cooked rice in the microwave for about 90 seconds. Transfer to a bowl. In a small pan, heat the oil from the sardine can over medium heat. Add your garlic and cook for 1 minute. Add your soy sauce and lemon juice and let it bubble for 30 seconds. This becomes your dressing. Open your sardines and place them gently over the warm rice. Keep them in larger pieces rather than breaking them up. Spoon the garlic soy dressing over the top. Scatter spring onion and red pepper flakes over everything. Your tips. Using the oil from the sardine can as the cooking fat for the dressing is the technique that makes this bowl taste so much more deeply flavored than the ingredient list suggests. That oil is already infused with sardine flavor, and it seasons the entire dressing from the first moment. The lemon juice is essential. It cuts through the richness of the sardines and brightens the whole bowl considerably. Stretch it further. Buy 2 cans of sardines. Use one for this rice bowl tonight. The second can, flake the sardines and mix with a spoonful of mayonnaise and a squeeze of lemon, becomes sardine toast for tomorrow's lunch. A genuinely good lunch for around 50 cents. Budget breakdown: 1 can of sardines at $1.50, half a cup of rice at 15 cents, soy sauce and lemon at 15 cents, spring onion at 10 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.90. Number 9. Split pea soup. Split pea soup is one of the oldest, most filling, and most affordable soups in existence. A single cup of dried split peas costs around 25 cents and produces a pot of soup so thick and substantial that it genuinely eats like a meal rather than a starter. Add a small amount of ham or a smoked sausage, and the flavor becomes deeply savory and warming in a way that costs almost nothing to achieve. This is the soup that has fed people through genuinely hard times for generations, and it is still one of the best budget meals available today. Here's what you need. Half a cup of dried green or yellow split peas, rinsed. 2 cups of chicken broth or water with a bouillon cube. Half an onion, diced. 1 carrot, diced. 1 stalk of celery, diced. 1 clove of garlic, minced. A small amount of diced ham or 1 smoked sausage sliced. Optional, but deeply worth it. A pinch of dried thyme. A bay leaf. Salt and pepper. A drizzle of oil. Heat your oil in a pot over medium heat. Add your onion, carrot, and celery, and cook for 3 minutes. Add your garlic and thyme, and stir for 1 minute. Add your rinsed split peas and broth. Add your ham, or sliced sausage if using, and your bay leaf. Season lightly with salt. The ham and bouillon are already salty, so go carefully at this stage. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat, cover, and simmer for about 40 to 45 minutes, stirring occasionally, until the split peas have completely broken down and the soup has thickened into a dense, creamy consistency. Remove the bay leaf, taste and adjust seasoning. Add salt now if needed. Your tips. Split peas do not need soaking. They break down completely during cooking on their own, which is one of the things that makes this recipe so completely effortless. The soup will thicken significantly as it cools. If reheating the next day, add a splash of water or broth and stir well before serving. A thick slice of bread alongside is not optional with this soup. It is genuinely part of the meal. Stretch it further. A 1-pound bag of split peas at around $1.20 contains enough for 4 full batches of this soup. That is 4 complete dinners from a single bag. Roughly 30 cents worth of the main ingredient per meal. Buy 1 bag and you have the base for 4 dinners covered for under $1.50 total. Budget breakdown. Half a cup of split peas at 25 cents. 1 carrot and celery at 20 cents. Half an onion at 15 cents. Bouillon cube at 10 cents. Small amount of ham at 40 cents. Bay leaf and thyme at 5 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.15. Number 10. Chicken and vegetable noodle pot. We're ending this list with the most filling dinner on it. A single chicken thigh simmered with egg noodles and vegetables in a rich broth until everything is tender and deeply flavorful. A chicken thigh costs around $1.20. A cup of egg noodles costs around 20 cents. And together they produce a pot of food that is so filling and so comforting that it rivals anything you could order at a restaurant for 10 times the price. This is the dinner to make when you want to feel genuinely well-fed on almost no money at all. Here's what you need. 1 chicken thigh, bone-in for maximum flavor and value. 1 cup of egg noodles. 1 carrot, diced. 1 stalk of celery, diced. Half an onion, diced. 1 clove of garlic, minced. 2.5 cups of chicken broth or water with a bouillon cube. A pinch of dried thyme and parsley. Salt and pepper. A drizzle of oil. Heat your oil in a pot over medium heat. Add your onion, carrot, and celery, and cook for 3 minutes. Add your garlic and stir for 1 minute. Add your chicken thigh, broth, thyme, and parsley. Season with salt and pepper. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat, cover, and simmer for 25 minutes until the chicken is completely cooked through and tender. Remove the chicken thigh and shred all the meat from the bone with 2 forks. Get every piece, including the small pieces around the joint. Return the shredded meat to the pot. Add your egg noodles. Cook for another 8 minutes until the noodles are tender and have absorbed much of the broth, making the pot wonderfully thick and hearty. Taste and adjust seasoning. Serve in a deep bowl. Your tips. The egg noodles in this recipe are specifically better than regular pasta because they absorb the chicken broth as they cook, becoming intensely flavorful and making the finished pot considerably thicker and more satisfying than a broth-based soup would otherwise be. The bone from the chicken thigh continues to release flavor and collagen into the broth right until the noodles are added. Don't remove it until the last moment. Stretch it further. This is the recipe where the stretching strategy really shows its power. Cook 2 chicken thighs instead of 1. The cost increases by only $1.20. Use 1 thigh's worth of shredded meat for this noodle pot tonight. Refrigerate the second thigh's shredded meat. Tomorrow, it becomes the filling for a quick chicken quesadilla, the protein in a fried rice, or the topping for a jacket potato with cheese. 3 different dinners. 1 extra $1.20 spent. Budget breakdown. 1 chicken thigh at $1.20. 1 cup of egg noodles at 20 cents. 1 carrot and celery at 20 cents. Half an onion at 15 cents. Bouillon cube at 10 cents. Total per serving, approximately $1.65. 10 dinners, every single one genuinely under $2 per serving at today's grocery prices. Every single one filling enough for a proper meal, and every single one comes with a way to stretch it even further so your grocery shop goes farther than you thought possible. Eating well on a fixed income is not about eating less. It is about cooking smarter. And I hope today's video gave you 10 new ways to do exactly that. Which one are you trying first? Drop the number in the comments. We read every one. New recipes every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, take care of yourself. You deserve a good dinner tonight. See you soon.